Hello and welcome back to the World Championship of Netrunner 2023. We are getting right into it with mildesorte and Lostgeek. This is in the losers bracket here. Sokka has just made the winners final, so we're going to work through the remaining lower bracket to see who is going to be in that final with him.
And so we have a wonderful matchup here, which is Lostgeek versus mildesorte. Now, for those of you who like a bit of drama here, these are both members of the same major testing group, NWE, New World Order, and these are players who, in order to progress, they must push their other out of the lifeboat there. So this is going to be big, dramatic. They both are going to know each other's list. I think there's a reasonable chance that this is a replica of many a testing game that has gone on between them. We are seeing New Earth Hub against I believe that is a Hoshiko as well on the other side. So this is a mirror of what we've just seen, though with some differences. Lostgeek there on a bladder wall. We didn't have a bladder wall last game. Decision made to trash that before it can start doing its economy and doing its net damage and sort of making the more problems. Now I think Lostgeek's list is a little different. I think there's more ice in Lostgeek's list than the last round's NEH. We see a Rashida Fire there pulling across, getting 3 cards, 3 credits. Great value as always. So you're aware of last round. Big drama, big big energy game. Are you expecting the same kind of thing here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think that this is going to be another case where the runner's going to have to take that control aspect and trash the key things, score when they can, and once the corp gets set up, go into that little bit of a back foot mode where they get it into it at the exact right moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have access to a lot of potential disruptive tools for NEH. Now I believe this list is not quite on the same game plan necessarily. The Hoshiko I do know is has a lot that we've seen so far. Obviously we have the Bankar there as a way of getting access in. This Near Earth Hub slightly different, as I've said, more ice and more in terms of when you get tagged, it tends to disrupt you. Things like Self-Growth Program or Scores Out with Shipment from Vladisburg, not necessarily the flatline plan, but you still don't want to have those tags if you want to win that game.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can probably go a little bit more aggressive here. You're not going to instantly lose the game. This deck is trying to do that value tempo hits with that Amani Net Senai. I like to call it Bladderwort Senai Control.
Yeah.
Very
nice name. Now, interesting, we do have a Miss Bones coming down on the runner side there. That has allowed that first trash of an Amani Senai 4 to trash. Hugely powerful card. But very expensive to trash as well at the same time. 3 Amani Senai in this list, so a unique card, but with 3 in the deck shows how key it is to those big swing moments. We've seen some of those on stream in some of our days of score an artificial crypto crash. Runner loses whole bunch of their credit pool and loses board state at the same time.
Absolutely.
Devastating when it hits.
It is absolutely devastating. So honestly, since you're going to lose those resources later, you best get it off the board now. Once you find it, you don't want to have to go searching for it again. You got to get it out of there. You got to trash that Senai.
Yeah, I mean, can you guarantee that you are never going to steal or score? Probably not. Then the Amani Senai does need to go. Pad campaign there, like original core set Netrunner card, still proving its way. Now I suspect that Lostgeek would say, well, it would be better if it did a net damage as well at the same time, but we can't all have enough influence, despite having quite so much influence as NEH has. A little bit of a wave there from mildesorte on the camera, very nice there. Good to see, make that contact with the viewers around there. Taking a moment there, Lostgeek, having a think on what we have. We have an ice on Neuromote here. It's a far more ice prevalent list. able to defend those remotes. Tell me about the ice composition there. What do we got?
The ice composition is your standard tagging ice that seems to come with these decks. The pings being the most represented in the list. However, you do have taxing ice as well, going with that Mesnachestvo. Now, with Mesnachesto, you do have to advance that ice to turn on that ability, so can be a little bit slower than, say, a toll booth, but the trade-off is that you get to res it for a lot less.
Absolutely. 5 versus 8, I believe, is the exchange there. Also, worth noting as well that it can be significant to have more subroutines. If you're dealing
Absolutely.
with a bank card, toll booth would be, yes, you'll be doing the deduction of the 3 credits, but that's just a single net damage to get through a toll booth. I don't think I've seen a toll booth all day. The mighty toll booth I have not witnessed on stream, and I've heard no stories of it.
Absolutely. How the mighty have fallen. Mesnachestvo just seeming to be clearly better in a lot of these lists against these runners, letting you run lower and hotter, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it reflects those changes in the game that we get all the time with a living card game such as this. Wonderful to think you know a card and there you go. It's back. It's changed. So a little bit of a start in terms of not certain what we're seeing yet. A little bit. I wouldn't say cagey. It's very careful, very, very, very controlled. But perhaps not none of this ice is necessarily rezzed. What do you think is going to be going through the minds of both sides here?
It looks like as long as the corp is going to build up, mildesorte is perfectly happy to build up themselves. Noting that they're one of Miss Bones in their deck. Probably for this exact testing matchup, like you saying, they've probably sparred before. But getting that early, feeling confident that they can control the board a little bit, letting that daily cast tick up, probably more than happy to just keep Lostgeek off the tempo, saying, your centrals, until later, maybe I don't need to check those.
Yeah. Now, we are seeing a Wage Workers here. Wage Workers has quite often been a high-value trash target in a lot of the games that we've seen.
Absolutely.
Giving that extra click. Now, is that going to be something that the Miss Bones is used up on? Because once the Miss Bones is used up, it's gone. You cannot have Miss Bones will not... I don't think it will recur in this list anyway. But equally at the same time, you've got the challenge of what's in that remote. Why is it double iced? This must be important. Corp giving a lot of ways to challenge the runner here.
Yeah, absolutely. Presenting lethal to the runner, and well, not really. It's not a kill deck, but presenting a threat out there at least, and saying, hey, you have multiple things to check here, and that's what these decks are doing. However, leaving the Wage Workers alone for multiple turns. Oh,
that is a second Amani Sanai now accessed. Lostgeek putting it away, saying, "Yeah, you're going to trash this. You
have to.
You know this deck. You know you're going to trash it. And here's a
trashing the Wage Workers.
Yeah.
And again, I was saying that you have to. You can't not let the corp have 4-click turns. You're just going to be tempoed out with this deck if you do that.
Yeah.
You have to get both tempo pieces off the board, and you cannot let them reverse your board back with those 2 cards.
Yeah, interesting. Going down low to score to install the liberated accounts there, because of course if there is an oppo in Lostgeek's side and Lostgeek decides to play an oppo. It doesn't matter how rich you were in the first place. So the old habits of hard-hitting news and making sure you've got a lot of credits in your credit pool, actually not as significant as they were. Wonder as well whether this is a artificial crypto crash. So you don't know whether there is some effort being made to offload those credits to make sure that they're not in the credit pool and they can't therefore be removed with a seamless into now. Because I do believe there is seamless in this list.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a 1x seamless in this list. So that artificial crypto crash threat is on. So yeah, offloading onto that liberated is actually a really, really good move here.
And indeed, there is our value oppo, as it were. We know that it's going to be perfectly possible to clear those.
Absolutely.
to clear those tags. It's take 4 from Liberated, use those 4 to clear the tags. There's 2 coming in from Datacast. There's no suggestion that these tags are gonna stick, but that has slowed the runner down. We've been seeing these games of gradually just eking out those little bits of efficiency.
Absolutely.
And we know that the Miss Bones is gone. That's not coming back. So we're not going to get that huge boost for trashing that we had before. So it'll be I think I am intrigued by this remote server. I suspect that it is a crypto crash being held potentially for if there is a situation where there is a lot of money that's worth stealing in the runners pool. Do you think that there'll be some playing around that? Do you think we'll constantly see installs?
We will probably see offshoring of money onto liberated accounts. These NWE players noting in conversations that they have had that this is one of the key cards that they have used to juggle those credit pools. Lostgeek also knowing that, however, that value oppo just taking 4 credits out of the runner's potential pool for trashing those assets.
Yeah.
So these 2 players dancing around each other, dancing around with credit pools is what they're doing, it seems like to me.
Yeah, it's a real battle of tempo and economic power on these higher level tables at the moment that we're seeing.
Yes, absolutely.
And Pad Campaign left alone, allowing to just do its little bit of 1 credit per turn. You never know how often that's gonna mount up. 5 credits on that side of the board. At least 3 of those are Pad Campaign credits. Doing its work. Core set card.
Absolutely.
Core set represent. So taking 4 off the Liberated there. Going up to 7 credits on the Hoshiko side of the board. So ending turn on 7 credits there. Perhaps taking a risk on the crypto crash, but maybe saying, you know what, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen. And also turning over the Hoshiko, didn't access any cards this turn, so took that step back. We do have a seamless, and that is a score of the crypto crash.
Crypto crash.
That is, that is a big, it's a big moment. There's a one-off, it's been set up perfectly, and there it is. That is, I think there can be a certain amount of pleasure on mildesorte's side of the board that, well, at least the Amani Sinai is not on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. But mildesorte has to feel a little bit cross with that one. Saying to Lostgeek, you don't have it, and Lostgeek going, yes, I do.
Yeah, no, it's, never dance with Lostgeek when such things are on the line. Lostgeek always has it. So you've got to do some recovery here, but the Liberated will help with that, of course. Looks like we're running at this point, potentially holding credits down just to avoid losing them potentially for a Mesnichesko. That is a ping on HQ, so that is a tag. Now we are going to get through that still with the Bankar, so taking a net damage, rolling the dice to sort of say, hey, what's going? And there is a single card going. That is Paladin Koemu. But we are going to get an access here. This could be big. You never know. You could be seeing, back to 2-2 rather than 2-0. And that is a Bologna. So we do know it's there. Unable to steal it. Don't have the 5 credits. Do you think you'd want to steal in this situation, or are you actually quite happy to leave it?
You don't want to turn the threat on at this point, probably, because you cannot clear all of those tags. And then if you keep all of those tags, Lostgeek is just going to put you into a lock, a spiral. So, you're even if you have the credits, you maybe don't steal here.
Yeah, no, that's my instinct as well, because these very good players. There's not a oops, I forgot about Bologna. That was an anticipated possibility. I think it's fair to say.
I believe so, and really probably instead looking for the agendas that don't cost anything to steal, such as an artificial crypto crash. There are 3 in the deck.
Yeah.
Just poking because getting a couple of points early can be a good thing against this deck when there's no Sinai on the board.
Absolutely, and taking the artificial crypto crash away as a future option, that may save you 7 credits in the long run.
That too, yes.
Now, of course, we are aware that with the amount of wage workers that I think we've seen trashed, and the seamless in the bin. Now, I think there is only 1 seamless in this list, so that has in firing that, we have turned that potential thing off. Until we get a Spin Doctor, until we can shuffle it back, and possibly go get it with a Gaslight, that Seamless is not there. So that is Predictive Planogram for 3 credits. Looks like taking another credit as well. And showing cards in hand. Now we have a further install on NEH as well. So back to Hoshiko's turn there. Taking card there. Bankar not quite been declared there by the looks of things. Does need to be specified as starter turn. I think we're doing some starter turn checking of what's in a heap there. What's in the runner's bin. Looks to me like we've got some interesting options there. Looks like it's going on to ping there, going on to HQ, continuing to pressure where that could be. You know what's there. You know it only costs you a single net damage. Would you be tempted to run elsewhere, or do you think that is still your prime target?
It looks like it's still the prime target, especially since we're seeing a DJ Fenris in hand. You could start to recurse some of those cards, probably why this player is looking at the heap here and deciding, hey, if I'm going to give them the choice on a Fenris with Steve Cambridge, then what am I getting back? Is it going to be valuable enough?
I think you're quite right. I think that the Steve Cambridge will be what gets played on the on the DJ Fenris there.
Looks like it's coming down.
Shows how much it was a slip of the tongue there that I even referred to DJ Fenris as Steve Cambridge there and did it again. So I think we are quite right that you are going to see. There he is. There is Barry Milton Keynes, as we call him in the UK, as the potential way of saying, hey, whilst I'm running HQ, I am also going to gain more value for myself. Now we're losing net damage, but theoretically you could ask for that card back. That is a more going into the heap. So what are we going to see here? What are going to be the options? Do you think there is going to be a question of looks like a Spin Doctor is going, so we are drawing here. It's interesting to me that there's some attempt to dilute what's in hand, and now we can sort of say, hey, let's do the access. And also we can do the Steve Cambridge trigger, which has to come first. So those players, keeping the turn order correct. So it looks like presentation is so Bakia bans, and I can't quite see what the other card is based on where the hand is at the moment.
I believe that could be a strike fund, although I am not familiar with the art.
Yeah, so it does look like strike fund to me now. Now that the hand and the heap has moved away, so it looks like the option is, hey, do you want me to have liberated, or do you want me to have the strike fund? And the decision is, hey, have the strike fund. It's less. But of course, there is that does encourage the Bankar usage. That if that gets hit, that's just more. That is perfect. More than happy to see that out of hand. We are seeing the Bologna again, and a moment of indecision, but we are stealing that.
Notably turning on Oppo.
Yeah, turning on the Oppo is turning on the Oppo threat level. That is very expensive. And then it looks like we are in fact playing that right now. We want just that little bit more money. We're not going to wait for it to uncontrollably come out of net damage. We are just playing it now. We just need anything to just climb us up so that we can clear some tags if necessary. Now it is worth noting that Oppo giving 4 tags is very expensive on corp side as well. Obviously you've got the play cost of the operation, and it is an additional cost to give the additional 2 tags.
There is a notable thing here is that mildesorte is low on board state. There are not many cards that are installed, so even if the tags are kept from the Oppo research, the only high value target to bounce here is that DJ Fenris, which can be replayed fairly easily. However, we are seeing the Oppo.
I believe that was Gaslight for Oppo as well. So just that little bit of hey, controlling exactly what I get. Great NBN skills of saying when turn begins, trash the asset. If you do, go get it. So we'll presume we'll see that Oppo play, but there are a couple of clicks we want to use beforehand. Whether there is going to be like an attempt to get money, develop the board. I think you've got a lot of options when you are going to be trying to develop that. So looks to me like some assumption made on those tags. I'm afraid I didn't see what the additional clicks were used for. Possibly drawing. I'm afraid I did not see, but we are paying the full amount. I think this may be our first big Oppo on stream that I have seen. Have you seen a big Oppo being played before?
I don't know if I have seen a big Oppo today, although it has always been a possibility. This one in particular looking to be one of the lower value ones, strangely enough, as it is bringing Lostgeek down to 2 credits. So it is possible that mildesorte was baiting this, trying to get maybe some R&D accesses, find those crypto crashes, or even get some extra HQ accesses, and find just a couple more points and close out the game quickly before the control aspect of this NEH comes online.
Yeah, I suppose part of the question will be, obviously I don't believe there is any way I can think of that these tags are getting cleared immediately. I think one of the open questions will be how much these tags can be more immediately punished. You know, do we have a shipment from Vladisbrsk right there? I believe we've already seen the predictive planogram, so there's not going to be any of that soft punishment on there. A self-growth program. There isn't a great deal on the runner side of the board. But there is some value in taking that back. Putting 2 cards back in hand, not nothing. I mean, that's 4 credits worth down. When every credit counts, may well be a consideration. But will remain to be seen. So we obviously have the reaction here. Looks like we're starting with a run on HQ. Looks like that is. I'm not sure what the full extent of what that is. I'm afraid. Possibly moshing being played. Because there's It seems like likely a moshing being played because that was the 4th card. So we are then going to draw 3, gain 3. Yes, that makes sense. We were just showing what was being trashed on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We do have the ability to short gamble here. Bring that money back up. You're not worried about the score of a crypto crash right now. This is one of the few times you can go big.
Absolutely.
I don't believe this list is running market forces, which is the usual way of punishing, big money. And there is a run through with the bank car, and we are coming through, and we are getting a Steve Cambridge. We are going to say, hey, can I have Cleaver or Cleaver? Obviously,
I think it's Cleaver on the menu.
Cleaver is on the. Looks like Cleaver's back on the menu, boys. So we now have the access point. Taking that, let's see what we're at here. That is the Jessica, I believe. Just needing a quick read on that, just to check. Keeping all exactly what they all do in one's head is difficult enough, as I've discovered. On the comm side of things, let alone the play side of things. And looks like the choice is, I'm going to end up with at least 1 tag at the end of this turn. Might as well make it 4. Let's make an aggressive start whilst there's aggressive hits whilst there's only 2 credits on that corpse side of the board. A consideration on whether to riz there, possibly a ping. So we have a run on R&D. Can't quite see what.
Looks like it's a spin doctor.
That does look like a spin doctor. That is a definite potential trash. Theoretically turning an Oppo back on, but I think at this point it's the one time you might not expect another one. It looks like no trash though, possibly to enable the short gamble to be played. And to finish out the turn with that. So 4 tags over there. That is fundamentally, when you know the list, you know what the threats are, and with various cards that have benefited from having lots of tags either banned or too expensive or both. You can make those intelligent decisions to say, you know what, we'll clear it next turn. You've got 1 turn's worth of fun here with the tags. You know where I am, you know who I am. What you're going to do with that knowledge. So it's going to be interesting to see. I wouldn't be. There is obviously already a spin doctor on the board, so you could see an install of the spin doctor to get the draw, and potentially res of the second spin doctor if you shuffle the original spin doctor away. Is that something you'd expect to see at the moment?
It is certainly a possibility. It depends on what Lostgeek needs to dig for. We are seeing a wage workers though, a key piece coming down.
Looks like we're taking the turn to install lots of pieces, presumably on the basis of, I think I know what your next turn's going to be, and it's clearing a lot of tags. Therefore, I will take this opportunity to advance my board state. What are you going to do about it? I think possibly, I'm not sure, may have missed a pack campaign, not sure. Just a couple of queries with, I think maybe where the bank card token is going to go. Looks like it's being put on R&D there. Maybe deciding that HQ is not a rich target at the moment, but perhaps also thinking, I've got Cleaver, I can go deal with that now. If I really want to. So it'll be interesting to see where that comes down. There it is, right there. I mean, if you're going to go get it from your heat with Steve Cambridge, that's the time to do it. So that's going to create a lot of pressure on HQ.
Looks like Mildesorte may not be clearing the tags this turn. Another you won't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, another opportunity to say, you know what? I don't think you've got all that much you can punish with at the moment. You're on 2 credits. Once you build up your credits, then maybe I'll think about it. So I think that is a fairly short gamble as to which gamble is going to be put back in hand there. There's a joke there, so I might come back to me in 10 minutes.
Well, to be honest with you, if I was Lostgeek, I would have chosen the other one.
Yeah, fair. Well, next year maybe we'll be there, and that
it's
is
another
a
Bologna.
That is going up to 6 points. That is a big steal. This puts the game really close to the end mark. Looks like this does look like that Hoshiko's very in control of this game from this point at the moment. Having no Amani Sinai to punish that, no Crypto Crash. This is a very interesting game. Real turnaround. This is sort of, I think, one of the first times on stream that we have seen one of these kinds of decks quite so on the back foot. I think like most of the time that we've seen them, they have had these commanding board states. So it's been very interesting. Just that early Miss Bones seems to have just ticked it one way. Obviously great deal of skill in controlling the board at the same time as well, but certainly it's felt like a really key card.
Along with that Banhar, getting in past those pings with only 1 net damage, not really slowing the runner down too much, especially since they're Hoshiko, drawing back up after that damage basically for free. Well, 1 credit.
Well, yes, absolutely. Now, it's worth noting as well that Lostgeek has replaced the ice on R&D, deciding that I want something more significant there at the moment. Incredible that, we're still sitting on 4 tags here. And doesn't look like, again, there is any great desire to clear them. Perhaps this is a line that's just been found over the day of saying, you know what, if you tag, don't try and clear it all. That's your intelligent approach to it. So we are going through. I think we're breaking the ping with Cleaver again, presenting an offer on Steve Cambridge. This is interesting, right? Like you've got a Steve Cambridge on DJ Fenris, considered quite often a high value thing, not getting the chance to trash it. Miss Bones being removed from the game there. Once again, getting that strike fund back into hand is going to keep coming round. That is an access on the Spin Doctor. Is that going to be trashed, I suppose, is the question.
Depends on if you want to come back in. It's certainly a possibility, but it looks like it's a no.
Yeah, looks like a no. Worth noting, only 2 credits on that side of the board. Stealing 10 credits worth of agendas has taken its toll on the runner there. So once again, playing that strike fund just to get that little bit more money. Maybe there's something there. And Lostgeek sitting there with 5 credits, 2 recurring credits coming in, and a wage workers. Perhaps there will be an opportunity to take some of that value.
An Enigma.
An Enigma there ends the run. Considering
Banhar.
Considering the Banhar, so not ending the run, but taking the 2 net damage there. That is more punishing, perhaps, and that's the reason it went there. We see a daily business show. Looks like no trash on that. I feel like I can see some potential light at the end of the tunnel. Like, it's very difficult to come back from 6 points down, but it doesn't seem to me like it is completely impossible with the 2 pack campaigns, with just enough, just enough of the right luck. Maybe this gets turned around. With this level of play, all it takes is just a little bit to come right. And the 4 tags are there. NBN can do a lot with those tags.
It does appear a bit difficult, but one of the things to note with this list is it is playing major tag punishment with the shipment from Vladislavsk, allowing you to fast advance 5/3s from hand. So if that can be used once to great effect, it can be spin doctored back into the deck and then found again. There is only one in the list, along with that 1x of seamless launch as well. However, the self-growth programs and predictive planograms could be used to punish the player's hubris just a little bit on the not clearing tags.
Now, interestingly, we did have a trash on the DJ Fenris last time, removing the Steve Cambridge option. Interestingly, not choosing to trash the Bankar, so we do get another access here, and that's
the game.
That is, that is there. That is 8 points. That is very well played from both sides. I think you've got to applaud your teammate when you do that kind of thing, and I think that is what's happening around the table.
I believe so. Yeah. It looks like there's a hug off screen. Mildesorte taking their teammate out of the top cut. Lostgeek has been eliminated. He now has 2 losses in the cut, meaning that his run has in fact ended. Mildesorte moving on to the next match in the top cut. And we will see them again in the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think we're going to wrap it up there until the next round. Please stay with us, because I think there will not be long before further rounds are seen. When there are this few players left, it's very quick turnarounds. So stay with us. Get your local drink of choice and be with us shortly. Thanks very much.